so.
Ready?
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
All right, guys, we're back again.
Yes.
Yo.
Once again,
No introductions needed, blood, because people need to be watching us. They need to know who we are by now.
100%. You're on the right show right now.
If you don't know who we are, slap yourself. Anyway, how you guys been doing? Lockdown number 2 is upon us.
Oh, I'm telling you,
Mad?
Good, man.
it's like a sequel to a movie, isn't it?
This is a sequel I don't want, though. You know what I mean? 'Cause you know what they say, the sequels are usually worse than the first. Ain't that what they say?
Yeah. Gotta try and be optimistic though, innit?
Yeah, I
100%,
know,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, man, again, it's a good opportunity, bro, man. Another. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll put the link somewhere here. Last episode was on opportunities as well. And look, it's another opportunity. We've been blessed a second time to, use our time wisely. And you'll find that in time when you don't exchange your time for currency, your time will be put to better value as well. So, yeah, another good opportunity to look forward.
So guys,
A natural thing going on.
what
Yeah.
is the topic? I mean, you know how we freestyle this, but I know you guys got a topic in mind. What are we talking about today?
Today's topic, it's interesting. Our last few topics have been on the whole concept of the mind, opportunities, and creating things. But there's one thing we didn't really touch on much, and I think that's creativity. I think creativity is something which everyone has, but there's different ways of unlocking it.
This one kind of ties in with the opportunities thing though, a little bit. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because from creativity comes opportunities, and do you know what I mean? So it's kind of works hand in hand really with this one. So yeah, man.
Okay, so creativity. Where do we start? Are we talking
Chat to me.
chat to you?
Tell me.
Creativity, obviously, I believe,
start?
comes from the mindset straight away. Do you know what I mean? It's something that's inbuilt in you. You know what I mean? I don't know. What's your creativity? I don't know how to start this one off, to be fair, because it is quite a deep one as well. Do you know what I mean? What would be your first? I mean, talk to me. Let's say, how do you're finding it hard to concentrate, or you're finding it hard to move forward to the next stage. What do you do?
Cool. So, to the viewers, to the listeners out there, you know how we do on this show. We don't waffle. We get straight to the point. We go deep. So, let me put this question to you to get your thought, your cognitive thinking going. So, the first thing I would say is creativity in itself is a unique skill which every human possesses. It's what makes all of us different. When we are able to unlock that, that's what enables us to reach our potential. So one thing I would say before we look into that, I would say ask yourself this question: what are you trying to fill your emptiness with? Because many a time when people venture out to unlock a form of creativity or be of some sort of service, it's as though they're trying to fill something within themselves. So one thing I would say is ask yourself, what emptiness are you trying to fill? The minute you have the answer to that, it will give you a true indication and a true reflection of what your intention of your heart is. And the minute you understand that, I think it will pave way for you towards your destiny, towards what you're truly looking for. Because many a time people, they venture out to do something, but little do they realize there's something within them which they're trying to do it for. And I was going to say this as well. I think on this show we talk about the mindset many a time. Today I'm going to try to speak a little less on the mindset, because I think there's an emotion which we've overlooked, which I believe is far superior than the mind itself, and it's something which surpasses the intellect as well. And that's the human heart. That's the emotion of love. And I think when you add love into the equation, when you have something you want to protect, something you want to serve, something you truly would give your heart for, it only makes the individual stronger than they already are, or stronger than they can be. So one thing I would say is, when you find that, I think that will be the first step in unlocking your creative thinking.
What are you saying? Loving yourself is a big key.
Think of it like this, right? So the emotion of love itself, I think the emotion of love itself, it creates and it brings out the aesthetic and artistic nature of an individual. Because when you have the emotion of love, be it from a relationship, friendship, family, when you have something you really truly love, it brings a different nature of you out. And that's the difference between love and anger. Because when you're angry, obviously you're not in control. But when you have emotions of love, it's not for yourself, it's for someone else. And I think that's a beautiful concept. And that's why everything when you do with love, it's eloquent, it's beautiful, it's subtle but meaningful. It's a beautiful like visual concept. And yes, I would say love in itself, when you put that into the equation, you'll find love in a spiritual sense. It's abundant, but it's enduring because it's spiritual. So when you do feel love, it leaves an imprint. It impresses a soul in such a way where it's everlasting, regardless of time or circumstance. So, if you're separated from someone you love through death, through breakup, through anything, time, distance, whatever it may be, there's still like a concept of love which will still remain in your heart, which will keep you going and keep you alive during your darkest times. And one thing to end it off with, what I would say, is to get the ball rolling, is many a time we look around us and we find there's people which are successful, have everything which they desire, but they are always deemed hopeless. And I think many a time the reason for that is because they don't have love in their heart. And amongst us, we know a lot of people which are wealthy, which have a lot of money, and when your whole ideology is based on material and nothing to work for or to serve, you'll find that it has little to no effect long term. And yeah, that's what I'd say, bro.
So you think getting that best out of you, the best creativity,
You have to find
out
something
you,
you love, bro.
you have to find that
And
love
It's
first.
interesting you say the love part, really, with the emotion, because you see that in people's work. You know what I mean? You see that in people's creations. You can see that element of love in what they've brought to the table. Do you know what I mean? It reflects in the work itself when it comes to creativity.
Okay. Again, I think we touched, funny enough, like I say, we touched on this last time as well, after the cameras were off. We had a good chat, which we should have put on camera, to be fair, because I think it was quite deep. But we'll go back to the thing. Let's say, for general sake, let's continue that conversation that we was having last time, because it started with that. You know what I mean? It's like, right, I'm not afraid to say for 1 minute, right now I don't love myself. How do you get to that point? I mean, obviously I have loved myself before in the past, but at this moment I don't love myself at all.
Does that affect the creativity side of things?
I think
as
it
well?
affects everything of me. I think it affects, again, it's not just for me. There's loads of people out here as well who are in the same boat. I don't believe that they love themselves. I don't believe that they give all of their time and effort in their own self. Do you get what I'm saying? But then, so I'm one of those people. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. You know what I mean? There's times where I've loved myself, love myself, but then there's times that I haven't. I actually think, what? You know what I mean? And then trying to find that love.
I think when you're thinking in that space, though, it's easy to continue thinking in that space, because when you think about something that you don't love about yourself, the next thought is going to be to think about something else that you don't love about yourself, and then that cycle is going to sort of continue. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you are aware of the things that you love about yourself and the things that you don't love. So it's maybe a case of just trying to identify why that is and trying to put it to the side. Do you know what I mean? Or try and deal with it, because it sounds like a lot of reverse thinking. It doesn't allow you to be progressive. So when you're thinking about the negative side of things within you, it doesn't allow you to think progressively about the stuff that you're able to do, your potential. You can't unlock your potential because you're on that side. Do you know what I mean? And it's stopping you from coming to that side.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know how you lay out your...
Yeah,
your
I mean,
feelings,
I
do you know
guess
what I mean?
it's all about how people are wired up as well.
Yeah.
The people are wired up in all kinds of ways.
When it comes to you feeling the emotions of not loving yourself, obviously, because a lot of people which may be experiencing that or going through that, we know it's a dark place. What causes you to think that? Like, what makes you go towards that?
I don't know. I think it's one of those ones where I think you get trigger points. Anything can trigger it off. I think there's nothing that you can put your finger on. Do you know what I mean? One day you can wake up fine, and you know what I mean. And next day you can think, oh damn, this guy. You know what I mean? And I don't know what it's down to, but I think, and this is where I find difficulty in bringing my creativity out, because I haven't passed that first stage. Don't get me wrong. Before, I used to have creativity to a wide degree, but that was because I believe I love myself a lot. I felt I felt giving myself some quality. Do you know what I mean? Value. I valued myself a lot more. But sometimes, but because of life as it is at times, you get to a point where I feel it's really hard to kind of give yourself that rating. Do you get what I'm saying? You give yourself that rating.
Being in that space is hard. And
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta work on the things like individually. Maybe like break them down into smaller bits and say, look, like I don't like that. I'm gonna try and fix that. I'm gonna focus on that for the next day or the next week, or I'm gonna try and fix that thing, because that one thing is one thing that's deleted from your mind space. Do you know what I mean? And once you continue to delete those things, you can bring yourself to the next mind space. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it's a case of breaking it down like that and dealing with these bits one by one.
Yeah.
That's true. Slim's that as well, my bro. But one thing I'd say as well, I'd say love is patient as well, bro. Love is very patient, and I think even till today, bro, like love, I don't think anyone's got the exact words for it to explain it.
Yeah.
And I would say we could give you 101 solutions right now, not just for particularly you, but for anyone listening there.
Yeah.
But I think the first things first is I think they need to be patient with themselves, because they need to understand the thing with depression, anxiety, or any form of sadness. You're not alone. Everyone goes through this. There's been many a times when there'll even be people. It's like because they stop loving themselves, they want other people to love them, so they'll do anything for that. So
we were talking about this just like similar to this, just as we was on our way here in the car.
Journey in the car. Yeah.
It was about like purchasing stuff for yourself or gifting others and how it makes you feel, and it sort of relates to that as well. Like there's some people who purchase things like that just to say, oh yeah, I look good in these now, and they want the acknowledgement from other people to say, oh, you look nice in that, and oh, you got those, and that gives you that boost, that gives you that, oh, I love I'm feeling myself now, sort of thing. But it doesn't work for everyone.
No,
it don't work for everyone, or it might work for a while. It might be only a temporary thing. Do you know what I mean? But we were saying that there might be more value in giving rather than doing for yourself.
Yeah.
So
no, I hear that.
It's a more lasting effect. Do you know what I mean? Sorry to cut you, bro. But
go. Don't be silly, bro, man. Come on, man. I'm always learning from you, bro. It's all good. But one thing I would say is, man, it's like, it's interesting. I'll take it a bit back as well. So like, I usually like to reference to people, but one thing I would say, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, one thing he did say was, he goes, although my eyes may be asleep, my heart is awake. So in other words, what that means as well, bro, like, when you walk amongst the world, it could be interpreted how you like. Obviously, that was a separate narration, but one thing I would say is, when you carry yourself in the world, it's like, irrespective of what's put in front of you, be it good or bad, we have to make the best of what we have. And it's like, we have to remember God is intentional. Like the fact that you're breathing, like for example, if your son or your daughter done something bad, it's like you won't stop loving them because because they made a mistake, or because and that's how the way you talk to your children, that's how you should talk to yourself as well. Like the way you spread that love, you should be loving towards yourself as well. And I think it's easy to forget that in a world where there's so much comparison and there's so much going on. But with creativity, I think that just might be the key, bro.
Yeah.
That just might be the key. Did you think about that? That's mad. That just came to me right now, bro. So if you know, it's like people like Picasso or like Da Vinci, all these people, when they created art, they were in a form of emotion, be it pain, confusion, questioning. They were in a state of emotion, and emotion in itself, as much as people decline and be like, oh, I don't want to feel this way, that may be God's way of speaking to you. That might be your light in the dark tunnel. And what's interesting, there's a saying as well. They say the difference between insanity and genius is failure and success. And if you look at, obviously genius is defined differently in a dictionary, but my thinking of genius is this: someone who's learned how to discover a higher vibrational thought, where they are able to tap into the infinite knowledge within their own mind. That's quite a complex sentence which I gave there, but the infinite knowledge which I'm referring to is the creative thinking, the creative mind. And then when you look at the ordinary rate of vibration of thought, that's our everyday thinking. In order to tap into the infinite, we need something which will stimulate the mind. We need a stimuli. Stimuli can stem from pain, love, desires, different emotions. But if you notice, it's always the emotions that trigger an effect which could unlock something within us. So, you know, a lot of the times the pain, and it comes back onto us. I always say this quote to you, bro. The wound is where the light enters you. Smile,
Okay,
bro.
yeah, I hear that.
So yeah, so like I said, it's like life's not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but you know our thinking and our attitude towards it can be.
Yeah,
So,
of
yeah.
course.